Warriors, Season 1, Episode 3.
This is John Chinaman, right?
Yeah.
And the reason for this name is because in episode 2, Ah Sahm has been arrested, and so he has to still pretend he doesn't know English. So even though Lee is asking him, "What is your name?" Bill is saying, "Oh, who cares? It's John Chinaman. Who cares about these people?" So John Chinaman.
Yeah.
So Ah Sam's in jail.
Right.
And this is it's got a fairly significant scene in this, and this is where they're talking, and like, what kind of cop are you, kind of thing.
Yeah, so that happens after the trial. Before the trial, Bill sends the thugs in
Yeah,
to the cell
yeah,
that Assam's in.
because Bill has got vices and is a weak, just a weak male, a weak character who isn't bad. So he doesn't want to do these things, but he just digs a deeper and deeper hole for himself. Ugh, this is like majority of people. Oh my goodness me. So at the start of it, we see Leary going to visit Mercer. Now, Mercer
Yeah.
is Penelope Blake's father,
Right.
and a rich man who, in order to get the contract to make
Build the tram lines.
build the tram lines in San Francisco. That's why Penny married the mayor, who is grotesque, and there is a terrible scene in this that I do think have to warn women in particular, because we know. I mean, I'm not saying that men don't know what it feels like to be fondled grossly like this, but she's married to this guy, and she's got to put up with his ugh. And now we see the real reason why she goes to this Chinese medicinal place,
Right.
where she got attacked and where Assam got. I love how everything
Where
is
she meets
connected. Where she meets Assam, yeah.
So Leary comes to intimidate Mercer to make sure that the Irish get the job instead of the Chinese.
Yeah. But the hatred the Irish brought with them is incredible. And these are the ones who became the cops, and all the, wow, the anger they have is crazy. And it's just shown and depicted without it being, it is constant, because it then just becomes, well, this is standard because we all know this behavior. We've all seen it. We've all experienced it. I've been taunted. You've been, just like, am I sitting here taunting you for being an ugly ass dickhead bogan? But no, but they can sit there and call me a black cunt and stuff like that. My God. Well, this is how it is in this, and just how horrible they are to all the other races. My goodness, it's disgusting. But Leary does have some sort of power in his barbarianism, because all the English and in the gentlemen's club, they're all just, oof. Leary, whips open a knife, and they're all startled and look around because they're all just so proper. So even though Leary is white, so no one bats an eye when he walks in, as soon as the knife comes out, oops, he's not one of us. We would never brandish a knife in public. We just, cut everyone in the back.
Yeah.
That's what the higher they up, that's what they
pay
do.
someone else.
That's what this significant scene between Ah Sahm and Bill, when Ah Sam's still in jail, and that is about that at least Ah Sahm uses his own hands,
That's right,
but Bill sends someone else in to do his dirty jobs. That's what, and Ah Sahm says that's what white people do. But again, they don't say white people.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of the language in this show. They say, standard duck, behavior kind of thing. So then it's not as shocking, because to hear that from that kind of blatant use of us, we talk amongst ourselves, like you and I now, and now more and more it's becoming prevalent how brown and black people talk about white
Yeah.
people because we're so sick of the way they talk about us. We're not holding back now. We're no longer just doing it in hushed tones. We're recording ourselves, and we're just doing it in all movies and everything
Yeah.
like that. So it is, but they've done this beautifully, I guess, because a few things have to be taken into consideration. Shannon Lee is only a quarter Chinese. Her mother is white, and Bruce Lee was half white or
Something like that.
quarter white or something. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, so there is a respect for everybody's thing, but the white, it's not held back. How
It's
brutal,
fantastic, though.
how brutal they are. But Leary and his power, and it's just fantastic. And the guy who plays Leary is really good.
Yeah.
Just he manages to imbue him with some sort of noble, behavior. And it's like, I can't believe you're just so barbaric, and I hate you. This is what they're showing everybody's humanity, and all he's trying to do is make sure that his people eat. So he wants to make sure that the Irish get the jobs. But the
Yeah.
reason why the Chinese have been brought in by these cheap ass English rich cats is because the Chinese are cheap. So again, the conversation between Rich Cat Mercer and Leary, the Irish people's voice, is that okay? Well, you keep the demands for money down. Well, I'll hire you because, as he's saying, why would I hire you people when I can hire the Chinese?
That's right,
Can
yeah.
hire. It's said quite horribly, which I'm not going to repeat, about how many Chinese to one Irishman they can have. It's just so it was all about the profit, all about the bottom dollar. It always has been. Ugh. But it's also beautifully depicted in this. Again, the rich colors, and there's all the differences in the tongs and deep, deep tones, everything.
Yeah.
Except when we come to White World, and it's a bit brighter. It's not as rich. It's a bit more diluted. And it's used to great effect around Penny, because she's, the White Angel.
Yeah.
So the lighting and all that is quite... Penny is really... It is shown, the rest of us can all sit here and scoff at her naivete. Like, oh, give it up, Penny. We know the truth, but she's so earnest. And now I can even see the whiteness in me, even though there's not a drop and skerrick of white blood in me, thank gosh. But because people have to listen to our podcast to understand why I'm saying this. I'm a brown Indian woman, islander through and through. But this is with Penny, the earnestness, the privilege, the naivete of privilege. It's like, you must try. And Ah Sam's like, whatever, lady. It's we're different here, okay? It's so powerful. Ah Sam's dialogue in this is quite powerful about how it works for him. And Penny now knows that Ah Sam speaks English, and she's like, you must now. They'll save you. And he's like, and thank goodness for Penny, she understands enough to know to shut up. So she doesn't tell everyone he speaks English. She knows to shut up. Because I thought, that means she has thought about the consequences, that she's gone, okay, he is right. I've got to be careful here. It's not going to help him. So she has thought about this. Unlike another white woman character that comes down further down the track, who is just an absolute dickhead. Thinks she's so fantastic, frolicking around in her whiteness. Penny at least has sense and logic and applies some compassionate thinking to her intelligence. Oh, but my goodness me. What are any favorite scenes that are coming to mind?
The exchange between Ah Sahm and Bill after the trial, when Bill protects him in a way, even though Bill's full-blown racist.
Yeah, yes.
He's still that. So you see Bill in a different light. So
Yes.
he is still a cop. He's loyal to that title.
And to what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
To protect everyone,
That's right.
regardless.
Yeah. But he's still white and he's still racist, and he just wants to get the job done as well.
It's quite interesting. Then you see the white person who's trying. It's like, well, why are you racist in the first place, you idiot?
Yeah.
Just because other people are taking jobs that you think are rightfully yours. But that's entitlement, as I have said, white entitlement, whitenment. And it was like, what? That job is not. It's not yours. It's whoever gets it. But they're starving these poor people. Everybody. The Chinese, the Irish. How dare the Irish call the Chinese stinky? Oh, crazy. Which is a point you made, because Chow, now he has no allegiance to anyone.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of these characters are friends, like Chow and Ah Toy, and they've already had this gorgeous conversation. I think this one starts off with Chow. It's Chow's sex scene in this.
Right.
And because there's a lot of nudity in this too, and good sex. It's always nice to see sex from anything other than white people, because it's always white people's sex we have to see, and it's like, oh, for God's sake, go away. But it's all, but as you pointed out, Chow likes the duck ladies.
Yes.
Because as in real life, there's always been some sort of prestige, right?
Yeah.
When the brown, black, or the person of color of Asian origin has a duck.
Yeah. That's right.
Duck chick. So, wow. So that's played to effect here, because every time Chow is in our toy's brothel, he's with the duck chicks. So she has a brothel. It's all fantastic. Our toy is always dressing up, and as I said, the costumes are amazing. But she understands it's all theatricality. She understands that she plays a part, and yes, of course, you could say it's the white gaze. But the real our toy is based, because the real our toy did have a brothel. Actually, the real our toy was a prostitute, and before that, she was one of the first peep shows in California or San Francisco, because she was gorgeous in real life. So this is very much, but it's the other side of our toy, which by now people have seen. That is why, is what makes this one really fantastical, this character. And just so super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. But we also see she's, what she likes, because she likes Ah Sahm.
Yes.
Our toy likes Ah Sahm. But it's not romantically, because, well, our toy likes the ladies. So but it's also beautiful, and oh gosh, Ah Sahm is gorgeous. I can't believe I haven't said that. I was talking about eye candy, and I had mentioned Lee, but everyone's beautiful in this. But Ah Sahm, truly, Andrew Koji better get some leading roles. John Cho was robbed of the right to have really hot lead action heroes, but Andrew Koji, he better get some action leading roles out of this. He's gorgeous, and he can hold, and the chemistry between him and Penny.
I know.
Like, I just like, and then I turn to you like, darling, we have this chemistry. So, I get it, because you and I'm not pining for it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what my husband and I have. This gorgeous, crackling energy. So the actors who play Penelope Blake and Ah Sahm, so that's Andrew Koji, and I'm sorry, I don't know the white actress's name, but they're just fantastic.
Yeah.
Beautifully directed.
Yeah,
beautifully framed. Everything is art. We've already said that. This is so what happens in this episode is, Mai Ling intervenes in some very interesting ways, and the power plays here, the power in her. And you know what? We're going to go back to Game of Thrones, Cersei's power is power thing. This is better deployed here, that whole thing, because Cersei only had power while she was king, kind of thing, But Mei Ling makes herself king. She's like, no, don't fuck with me. She's like, oh, wow, what a wonderful deployment of power that was, and display is what I mean, display of power. And how Ah Sahm gets out of jail. Again, it's just also connected, interacted, Mai Ling. It's because of Mai Ling, and you love the reasons why, but it's also dangerous. So it just creates more layers of loyalty. Then it's like, oh my God. Yeah. Warring tongs, and like all these loyalties should not exist. Warring races.
We're going to call it side plotting?
Yes, I love that term of yours, darling. So side plotting.
There's a scene where she's plotting on the side with another character. Do we give away spoilers?
But I guess we can say, because by now people have seen.
Well,
or are they just listening to this? Are we assuming that they're going and now finding the episodes and watching them, or are they listening to this? Well, I'm just going to say his name.
Okay, yeah.
Buckley.
Yeah.
And then to watch this unfold, and to see how selfish their motives are, that Buckley doesn't necessarily work for his community and collective and the white people. He's just after his own ass. And his motives, as it unfolds, are insane. But this is great. It's all so nicely woven. Oh my gosh, and how Leary takes his revenge on these Irish people. And Leary as the voice and the protector of the Irish community, is willing to burn his own people down if they don't follow the way.
Yeah.
I don't understand this about people with the way. I mean, now we're going a whole Mandalorian on this. But this is the way. I'm like, look, I find it all very noble, but seriously, he's just so consumed with rage, he burns them down. But what a powerful scene. What a powerful scene. Because also a part of you goes, yeah, you know what? This guy is out there putting himself on the line physically, Leary, for you people. And then you go and get too scared because, well, then that's the other side. They're not scared. They're just protecting their own family, their immediate children, etc. Not the collective. So it's layer upon layer upon layer. Why do white people and it's white people mostly, but all people in all races, what they do not understand, they get scared of easily. People are so easy to hate what they're scared of, and they are too easily scared of the easiest thing to be scared of. So the most obvious thing to be scared of. So people are too easily scared by the most obvious. So I'm going to then relate this to how Fijians then started hating the Indians who came and eventually became the Indo-Fijians. Because that was the easiest thing to hate, even though they should have been hating the actual colonizers, the oppressors, the ones who stole their country. But no. And so likewise, the Irish didn't hate the English. They started hating the Chinese. They didn't necessarily hate the blacks. They just thought they were better than the blacks, and the blacks are nothing. But they don't. But the hatred of the Chinese is next level. So they think they're superior than the black people. Like what? Just because they escaped famine, etc.
Yep.
And they think they're the only people who came across on journeys and voyages and boats. Again, that sounds like very specific, but. So this is very much a Leary's, what he does, his strategic moves, etc., and the consequences of going against Leary. So this is Leary's episode, this one. We didn't finish off, as you said, Ah Sam's welcoming party.
Yeah.
Oof, you do not want a welcoming party like this, but these are tough people, and this one really proves and shows Ah Sam's mettle.
Yeah, so he got punished because he crossed the line. Literally, there's a line separating Chinatown and... what's that?
The pond.
The pond. Yeah.
So Ah Sam crossed it, and he got punished on both sides. Poor Ah Sam. Yeah. He's half. He's got white in him. This is what they don't know, is that he's actually quarter white. So by now people should know because he's already said this. So it's not a thing. But wow,
and that's why he speaks American.
That's why he speaks American.
Grandfather was American.
Anyway, so that's this episode, season 1, episode 3.
Yep.
Warrior, the best show ever. Microcosm of the world as is. Thank you for listening.